Unacademy. Let's crack it.
Hello everyone, welcome to Unacademy. As you all know कि कुछ दिन पहले ही UPSC 2021 के रिजल्ट्स आ गए हैं और बहुत सारे एस्पिरेंट्स ने सक्सेसफुली ऑल इंडिया रैंक हासिल की है और उन्हीं में से एक आज हमारे साथ हैं श्री पूजा जो आंध्र प्रदेश से है और उन्होंने ऑल इंडिया रैंक 62 हासिल की है। उनका ऑप्शनल था एंथ्रोपोलॉजी। आइए देखते हैं कि हम उनसे क्या जान सकते हैं एंड हाउ दीज इंफॉर्मेशन कैन हेल्प अस फर्दर, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली प्रीलिम्स आने वाले हैं तो बहुत सारे एस्पिरेंट्स जो हैं इन टॉपर्स से काफ़ी कुछ जानना चाहेंगे। So first of all, Sri Pooja, welcome to Unacademy platform, and we are really happy and we are very proud of you that you have secured such a good rank. And बहुत सारे aspirants जो हैं वो आपकी तरफ देख रहे हैं as an inspiration. So first of all, my question will be, if we see Sri Pooja, if we see Sri Pooja other than this rank as a person, as a personality, how will you define yourself?
For me, my perspective, I'll define myself as a very hardworking and dedicated person, ma'am, who will try to get the thing I set my eye on in 100% efficiency. For people around me, they usually consider I'm a very affectionate and compassionate person. I really consider that's one of my strongest trait, because being in civil services, I really want to be close to people and make people welcome and approachable towards me, ma'am.
That is great. And what was that one thing which made you to appear for this exam, UPSC?
One thing is, my father is village development officer, ma'am. I have seen how small acts of his regular duty can bring big changes in people's life, and I thought if little decisions can make a big difference, I want to be in a very good decision making power where I can bring changes in lots of lives. So service was my intention behind starting this entire journey, ma'am.
And when did you started this preparation? When did you started preparing for this exam?
After my graduation in 2019, I have started preparing for UPSC, ma'am.
And what about the attempts? Have you given any attempt before as well?
Yes, ma'am. I have given my first attempt in 2020, and I went until interview stage, but I couldn't see myself in the list. This is my second attempt, ma'am.
Okay, so that is really great. There are many aspirants. Obviously, when they see toppers, they get inspired. But one of the very first question which clicks into their mind is strategy. How?
Pardon me, ma'am. Let me pause. I'll just cut the call.
Yes. So the very first question is strategy. How to strategize your preparation, and obviously you are newly graduate. Uh, there are there are always two set of questions in a graduate student, in the mind of a graduate student, that whether to prepare for this exam or whether to first make your base much stronger by getting some other government job, and then along with that government job to prepare this for this exam. So what was your mind during that time, and how you strategized this whole journey?
Uh, That's a nice question, ma'am. For the beginners who wants to get into the preparation, what I feel is people should know what they are getting into. Uh, so I believe that any person who wants to get into civil services has to see a question paper which is of a recent year, and see if the question paper is, sorry, ma'am, I'm getting
No problem.
to see if the kind of syllabus and if the depth of the syllabus is something the person wants and the person loves to read for next 3 or 4 years, how many ever so years it takes. The person should be passionate about what the syllabus contains. And the second thing is, the person should believe that by working something in this domain, the person can excel him or herself. So these two must be the factors, ma'am. One should find a love towards the subject of this syllabus, and second is one should believe that one can do it, ma'am.
So that was something which we also pushed you throughout this preparation, because uh, everyone says that at some or the other level there is lack of motivation and you're not able to continue with the preparation with same flow. So these are some initial ideals or thoughts which made you continue with your preparation throughout these years, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what about the strategy? How you planned yourself and what was your daily routine? Or there is always one question that you need to develop some one habit to sit every day for some particular hours every day, and that is what make you successful in this exam. So what are your ideas or takes on it?
uh, the idea of the strategy for me is, first thing is, as you say, the number of hours. For me, more than number of hours, it is consistency, ma'am. There has to be a consistent streak where a person shouldn't miss a day without doing at least a minimum effort towards this exam. Because I feel whenever a break comes, the break keeps extending, and that is when the passion of the passion and pace of the preparation goes down. Regarding regular habits, any person who has to keep periodic specific targets, ma'am, monthly or weekly targets, and should make it a very necessary habit of reading newspaper every day, at least for first 3-4 months of the preparation, where the person has to familiarize herself or himself with all the aspects of the current affairs around them, so that there will be a overall development while preparing, ma'am. After 4 or 5 months, one can accordingly allot the time for the current affairs and the regular static syllabus if the newspaper reading is not possible. But I believe in the beginning stage there should be a regular habit of newspaper reading, ma'am.
So newspaper reading is a very important part of one's preparation, who is obviously giving this exam, and somehow the current affairs or some editorials which is in news, it is important for our mains, as well as you will find some static portion. For example, there is some article. The static information about that article is very important for our prelims. So newspaper reading is one of the important aspects for this preparation. But mostly, one thing which comes across while reading newspaper for aspirants is that they start reading it from day one. So, do you think that this particular thing is actually a myth, that you need to start answer writing or newspaper reading from day one? Or there should be some base about some of the topics, for example, some reading of economy or some information about polity will help to read newspaper in much proper manner.
Uh, yes, ma'am. While reading newspaper, there will be very unique kinds of discussions being conducted in editorials, which makes a person think in multiple dimensions. In this phase, answer writing will be really helpful, and it is not a myth that that can make a huge difference, because I have written many answers over my preparation period. But as you are speaking, I'm thinking of my first few answers, and those were smart cities mission and Amrit, and what are the things which I have read in newspaper and I tried writing answers on. I'm shocked that I remember them still now. That is the thing, when you read a newspaper and try to put it in your own words into an entire answer, you retain the information for longer time, ma'am. So I believe answer writing will play a huge role in retaining the concepts, ma'am.
And can we start it from day one, or should we just first we should cover some basic texts and then we can go with answer writing along with newspaper reading as well?
For beginners, I believe answer writing should be something a fun aspect. It need not be something mandatory like every day or from day one. Uh, Answer writing should be done at one's own pace. That if a person reads something and the person thinks I can make a good answer out of it, then the person should has to try. The person has to try, so that it also builds the confidence, and also it also is when the person has enough data with her so that she can write a good answer of it. Without reading enough, if you start writing answers, it will demotivate a person, that the person may not be good in answer writing. Well, the fact is the person just didn't have good data or good reading about it. So I believe when it comes to static part, a person should have a minimum amount of preparation before starts writing answers, ma'am.
So, okay, that is great. Thank you for letting aspirants know this as well, because this is a very big question. They do get motivated by even reading newspaper also, because newspaper have some words. These words, they are not able to understand what they mean, and they are somehow connected directly to some economy or polity. So some basic information can actually help them to read newspaper as well as to write answers as well. Okay. So next question is that which subjects were most difficult for you while preparing? Which you found most difficult, or you were not actually enjoying those subjects while reading, but obviously it was part of the syllabus, you had to do it.
uh, the thing is, I usually enjoy reading new stuff, ma'am, but I have a problem when it comes to memorizing things. So I would say modern history was something I had a lot of difficulties covering it, because it was too vast and I had trouble retaining all the information. Geography was one more region I was finding myself trying hard to absorb and retain the concepts, ma'am.
Basically, conceptual part is something which is much stronger in your case, and factual part which you need to gulp, I guess. That is what I say about factual part. You cannot chew it, right? You need to gulp
Yes,
it.
ma'am. We have to gulp it.
Yeah. Okay, so geography and history. And what about which subject was your favorite, which you enjoyed while reading?
Uh, my favorite subject was polity, ma'am. It is because I started my preparation with polity, and there is one more reason for many people. For many people, it will be true, because once you do Lakshmikant in a good, efficient manner, you will be able to answer most of the questions out there, ma'am. So it is something you will actually feel you have completed it. So Lakshmikant will be polity will be my favorite, ma'am.
Ma'am, I think you were also able to connect it with recent uh, articles and editorials in news as well. Again, same thing, some concepts which you are able to see around you.
Yes, ma'am. With current affairs, it feels more relatable, and yes, ma'am, it feels a lot fun to keep actually learning through process, ma'am.
Okay, so what about your optionals? Why did you decide to go for anthropology?
Uh, First reason is my engineering, electronics and communication is not in one of the options of UPSC optionals, ma'am. So I had to pick anthropology. The reasons are I have to now start a new subject with competing with a lots of students. So I wanted something easily coverable, not very dynamic. I wanted a static subject which doesn't need lot of updates. And one more thing is I need strong resources in the availability, so that I wouldn't be needing for searching of the resources for longer time than using the time on preparation. So these are the factors I have considered, and actually that helped me in anthropology, ma'am.
And one more part which mostly aspirants, for example, now prelims are near, and aspirants throughout their year they prepare for the syllabus part, they cover syllabus, they read books and all. But there is one part, CSAT, which is less bothered by aspirants. Uh, they check question papers, previous year question papers, they solve them, and that is how they practice them. So, how you tackle that portion, CSAT?
uh, Me also, as other aspirants, have believed that CSAT will be easier for me because of my engineering background. But when I gave my first mock, the reality hit that I'm not so strong in CSAT. So I kept practicing, ma'am. And for me, I believe that CSAT is something which gets better with every paper you write. With practice, you increase the speed, and the speed is what matters to attempt maximum number of questions. And one more thing is, there are many tricks and there are many techniques which where you can attain at the answer at shorter speed. And if a person is finding hard to complete a question in a given time, it is definitely advisable to learn small tricks so that they can be using it in exam and finish the paper in right time, ma'am.
So we need to focus on CSAT part as well. It is not something which you can prepare in 10 or 20 days before prelims.
Yes, ma'am. It should be focused at least from 6 months before the preparation. It need not be regular, but at least at periodic intervals to know where you are, ma'am.
And do you think that there were some myths which got busted when you started preparing for this exam, UPSC exam? Because when we see this paper, when we are not into that journey, and when we see this paper and this journey and this preparation from outside, there are some myths connected to it. So did you also find out this thing that there were some myths, but they are not actually true. There is some, this journey is completely different, but from what I thought before entering into this preparation. What do you think about that part?
Yes, ma'am. There are a lot of myths regarding UPSC preparation, and yes, ma'am, it definitely came for me as a surprise. The first myth I realized was the portrayal of UPSC as the very difficult exam, and it's a very scary exam. And actually, it is not. And any person has a decent consistency and decent time put in the into the exam, a person can clear it, ma'am. Second thing is, uh, one more thing, ma'am, I don't it is a myth for me because people usually get so concerned that everything should be organized, like every day you need to study for 8 hours, then only you can make it. uh, for me it is a myth, ma'am. So I believe that it's okay if you have some bad days. It's okay if you haven't studied for a 15 or 16 days in stretch because of some disturbances. There is always a scope in the UPSC for pick yourself back in the 1 year period of preparation and go back. And even for people who has wasted most of the time, they can just speed up entire thing in 3 months, and they can qualify prelims and do their best for mains. So this is also one more thing, ma'am. Like if you once waste your time, it doesn't mean everything is gone in UPSC. There is always a shortcut, or there is always a better way where you can efficiently use your time and crack it, ma'am.
So it's about smart work. Sometimes no need to go with that flow, that path which always say that you need to work hard. Sometimes it's all about smart work, your consistency, your daily habits, and the way you prepare for this exam. Okay, so any personal anecdote you're learning you would like to share with the aspirants?
Uh, Yes, ma'am. As you have called about smart work, I would like to tell you something. It is regarding my optional, ma'am. I was not very well prepared before my prelims in my first attempt. So for anthropology, I thought I was smart, and I just picked a single compilation of some material, and I finished it, and I felt I did a smart work, and it would make me clear the exam, but I got a score of 212, ma'am. Then I understood smart work doesn't mean a shorter work. It also needs to be very well planned and very well planned and easier way. So in the second attempt, I again tried to try many things. In the final thing, what I understood was it is not required to make from scratch. For example, for anthropology, I need not go through 5 books and make my own notes. Rather, I can have a topper's notes, and connect it with what I have already studied and keep updating it as per my convenience. So that is what I did, and it really helped, ma'am. So that is what I would want to say. Smart work is not necessarily a shortcut. It is something which works for you and which makes you go to the give your best.
Thank you so much for this message. Yes, this is a very big issue with the aspirants. Actually, they refer multiple books because there is always a fear inside them that there is something. Maybe I'm referring to some book and there is some sort of information which is not present in it. And what if UPSC asks question from there that part? So they refer multiple sources. So yes, whatever you said, that smart work is something which works for you. Smart work is something which is itself is very much organized. It's not just about shortcuts. It's a very good message, and it will definitely help aspirants as well. So thank you so much, Sri Pooja, for connecting with Unacademy and for sharing your experiences with Unacademy. Best of luck, all the very best for your future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And I would like to wish all the aspirants all the best for their coming endeavors, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.